Hey everybody, and welcome to the live stream. And if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to make any kind of comments in the comments below. Today we are going to talk about the leaked Phantom 5 information today that I saw yesterday. It's not the standard stuff you saw back in the spring. And also I want to talk about the little app or the little test that DJI put in the app. My name is Brad, and I do drone videos every single week. And if that sounds like something fun to you or something you like, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And don't forget, this is a live stream, so please participate. I have stuff going on right here. I got a point like that. There we go. So I have the chat going on. Feel free to say hi. I hope to see some returning names and faces, but we shall see. So far, I don't see anybody, and that scares me. So first of all, I had gotten an email from a guy, Stan. He sent me an email earlier this week stating about the little test that the DJI Go 4 app put in for whatever information they have. Hi, Mr. Craig. How are you doing? I'd like to say hello. That's Squappy. Anyway, I think that's Squappy. I can't tell by the picture. Hey, Craig. So anyway, so the little app. Oh, no. Let me try that again. Oh, I see. Now we know who you are. And there's Friday. Hi, Friday. Kevin's here. Everybody's in the house. Yeah, I see that. So let me get through this little intro, and we'll just kind of keep on going through this. Anyway, so what I'd like to say is that I have heard of this test, this knowledge test. There's like 9 or 10 questions that you get on the Go 4 Pro app that you have to answer in order for it to unlock your drone. That would suck. I'm sorry, but as and Stan's point was very valid. It's like as a Part 107 pilot, why do I have to do this? Number one, and then number two, DJI, who gives you the right to do this? Why are you doing this? And I see some people. I even saw some stream. I think it was on a Reddit or on some user group that had said, "Oh, but they had to do it. They were pressured into doing it." Who pressured them into doing it? They have 70% of the market. Who's pressuring anybody into doing that? They do what they want. So anyway, I don't know. And quite honestly, I haven't seen it. Is this, and what I can tell, there's not a lot, I couldn't find a lot of information. Maybe I was doing the wrong kind of search, but I couldn't find a lot of information about it, but I know it's there. What I'm seeing though is it's more on a Mavic and not on the Phantom series. I mean, is that true? For those of you guys who have Phantoms, have you seen that yet? I have not. And it's apparently, like I said, it's 9 questions, very easy to pass, but it will lock you out of your device. My other question is what happens if you just use Litchi or some other app, or because you can use Drone Deploy and fly the thing and record video. You don't have to actually run a mission on Drone Deploy. So you could do any kind of app. I mean, would that still lock you out? I don't know. So you haven't seen it yet either. Now, Craig, do you have a Mavic, or do you? Because I thought you had the Phantom 4 Advanced. That's what you've got. Unless you have the Mavic. Also, so if anybody has the Mavic and wants to tell me if they've seen it or not seen it, it'd be great, because the one thing that I saw was that it actually locked the user out until they answered the questions. And it was, he couldn't really control the drone or do anything. And that would just be annoying. I would really, really hate to see that. For Advanced, yeah, I thought you didn't have the Mavic. So I've got the 4 Pro. I haven't seen it. I flew yesterday. I flew a couple times since they've put this Advanced, or this new thing out. But they, again, maybe it's just for the Mavic. I don't know. Mavic and maybe even the Spark. I don't know. Eventually what's going to happen is people are going to start voting with their pocketbooks. And if DJI keeps doing that, people are going to buy something else. Because for the consumer market, there are plenty of other companies out there. I mean, Autel's a great drone. Now, I would easily buy one again. So, you got that. You got Unique. You got the little Breeze. You got the little Parrots. You got all these other options. Hey, Variable Matt, how you doing? What's going on? Giving everybody a shout out. So we got Friday, Kev, Craig, Matt. Who else is here? Oh, we got 11 people here. We can do a quick howdy doody. Well, until I get, and just before I get into the next topic, which I'm sure most of you are interested in, unless somebody has something more to say about the Go4 Pro app that I haven't seen, or the test, the pilot test that I haven't seen. But I imagine it has stuff like, is it legal to fly over people? Is it smart to fly over people? Can you fly over events? Blah blah blah. Basic. I hear it's all common sense stuff. Where, if you're a smart aleck and answer them in smart aleck ways, you won't pass and you won't be able to get into your drone. So if anybody knows any kind of information about that, let us know. Let us know. See, I gotta do this. I gotta do it just right. I'm gonna get this down. So I'm gonna go like this. See, look, you're right here. That's awesome. So no one else is commenting on that. I hope that Stan comes in. I hope he sees this. You'll try it on your new phone. See if it gives me. Okay, yeah. See if it gives you a test. Because I know I downloaded the latest version, but it didn't. It hasn't done anything. In fact, when I was flying yesterday, we were doing an indoor shoot. And by the way, I like flying indoors. It was a huge warehouse, and I had to get rid of some space on the tablet because this thing is horrible. I tell it to put all the stuff on the card, the external card, and it doesn't, and it just eats up space. So I did a little like a utility, and it wiped out some stuff, and actually wiped it out so bad that it couldn't fly out of DJI Pro 4, and then I flew out of Litchi instead, and it worked just fine. You saw another video on the topic the other day, Kev. What did they say? I mean, because I haven't seen much about it. I've seen where a guy says, "Yeah, you can't fly," or da 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 da. But I haven't seen actual screenshots of the test. I haven't seen it on anything but a Mavic. I don't know. Is it on the 4 Pro? Is it on the Advanced? Is it? I know it's not. I haven't seen it on an Inspire. Of course, I've only flown the camera on the Inspire. You got an update for the phone. Okay, for the old phone. Okay. So, and I've got it, like I said, I've got it updated on mine, and it did not bring that. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I missed it. I can't see how you could miss something like that. It's behooves me on how I could miss that. So I would like to hear from you guys if you've seen it. Like I said, Stan, I hope Stan comes in, and I hope he's seen it. We're talking about this because I was hoping he would be here right away so that he would put his 2 cents in. Because he does have a couple cents to put in. He actually tweeted DJI and gave him a piece of his mind. Yeah, he was not happy, Kat. Yeah. Oh, there's Stan. See, Stan, he's here now. So, Stan, I hope you heard the beginning of this because we talked about your email. And that's the man right there. Right there's Stan. So, we'll just point him out and say, oh, no, he's in trouble. But Stan, have you had an issue with? I mean, have you seen the test yourself? Were you the one to put the video up? I think you were, but I skipped through it because I was in a hurry that day, and I meant to go back, and I have not had the opportunity to go back. I've been busy. Sorry. They never did bite. Yeah, I kind of wondered if they would say anything at all. I think that if it would have been retweeted about 1,000 times, they would have definitely said something. I'm kind of on the fence because I haven't seen it. And I mean, if it happens for a Mavic, those are more for. I mean, granted, there are many pros that own the Mavic. I mean, Robo Aerial owns it. You own one, I think. Yeah, I think you own one. But there's a lot of professionals that run them and own them, and they're 107 and all of this. But I think the Mavic is more geared towards the consumer. It's not really geared towards the professional. It may be like a real estate agent, and that. And anyway, and so neither one of them had you take the test. So good. Then you can't complain anymore. No more complaining, Stan. But it would irritate me. I mean, it would, or wouldn't. See, I'm on the fence. I haven't been bothered by it. Being part 107, maybe, I think in there when I first registered it, because I was 107 when I first got my drone, maybe when I registered it, I told them I was part 107, and it leaves me alone. Maybe that's what it does. Then that would be awesome if it's like, oh hey, well he's already got a 107, he's already licensed in his country, he knows the rules, we don't need to tell him. And there's Brian. Oh, Brian, better late than never. Of course, 10 minutes. That's not too bad. Hope you're having a good day. Hope your little trip, your business trip today was the traveling part was uneventful, and I hope it was prosperous for you. It could, Stan, I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe it does know that you registered them with FAA, because mine's registered with FAA. Now, Stan, do you have Mavics or Phantoms? The Phantom 4 or a Mavic? Or the dreaded, or no, traffic. Oh, you're in traffic. Dude, pay attention to the road. Brian's a rule breaker, I'm telling you what. Flying with him is fun. As long as I don't look at what he's doing. Oh, anyway. Mavic Platinum and a Spark. So you've got both of those. So both of those would be the ones that would have those tests. So I would like to know, and I know, Stan, you'll keep me in touch. You'll keep me informed of what goes on, because you've got my email, and if anybody can email me, brad@bradsdrones.com, if they have any information, or leave comments below after. If you're watching the replay and you have one of the drones and you've taken the test and you have screenshots or whatever, shoot me an email or leave a comment or whatever, and let me know what your experience was if you had to take that test. Oh, you're not driving. Good. Good, Brian. That one would kind of bother me. But anyway, well, you're not driving for the moment because traffic is standing still. No. Anyway, someone else is driving, and I'm good with that. Anyway, so, and Brian, I think I have a solution to the live stream thing for next week, and we'll talk about it later. We'll not worry about it. So, anyway, I think that the test thing, I don't think we need to worry about it at this point. That may change because, in this industry, things change, and they can change fast, especially with DJI. They tend to adapt extremely quickly sometimes. They did a very quick job when the military, not just the U.S. military, but I think even Australian military said, we're not using your drones because of security risk. And they're like, oh, wait, we better put a private mode in. So they tend to adapt fast. So if this does become like nobody's buying our drones because of this test, then they're going to change it. You had to do the verification video to get the refresh. And I got today. I had to do the verification video. Oh, that's what that video was that you put up. Okay, okay, now I got it. So, okay, cool. Got $129 for the Platinum? Nice job, Mr. Stan. Oh, you took the day off next week. We can play around on Wednesday. Thanks a lot, Brian. We'll definitely talk in a day or two. Anyway, so because I've got an Uber this weekend, unless somebody wants to donate about $600 or $800, go ahead. Go ahead, Brian. Come on, Brian. So anyway, I'll be driving this weekend. Now, I think that's enough for the testing. Again, if anybody finds anything out or whatever they know, if you link in the comment below. If the link goes into spam, I'll still get the link. You can email me and whatever you want to do. Just give me the information so that we can share it amongst the community, because that's really what I like about this community is we're really starting to help each other out a lot more. I'm seeing where if I don't have a chance to answer a question in the comments, somebody else will, and that is what I love the most, and they give them good information. If you didn't give them good information, I just delete your comment. But, whenever it's Brian, you got to worry. You just got to worry because he might just be full of Anyway, so let's talk about this article I saw yesterday, and if you follow me on Facebook, you saw it. The article about the Phantom 5 Pro leaks. Now, here's the article I saw. There we go. So it's Tech Toy Reviews. This is the one that looks most legitimate, but you guys can tell me. I mean, I've got the pictures. I'm going to show you the pictures in a minute, but they talk more about the camera. Now, this is a camera that's definitely not a 4 Pro. Okay, and then we've got all this stuff here and these pictures. We're going to come over to these pictures in just a second. Thanks, Brian. Oh, good, yes. I think I saw that, Matt, about the mapping with your Autel. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to talk about the Phantom, and then we'll talk all drones. I mean, I hope you guys do understand I'm not the biggest DJI fan. It's just right now they have really the better drones at the moment, and I hope they get taken down. So, what's all this crap over here mean? Now, if you read the whole thing, if you read the article, it's kind of small here in the video, but they're looking at things that are going to be possibly waterproof or a little bit like, splash proof. Of course, flying in the rain, the video is not going to be that good because your lens will get wet, you'll have drops. I'm not really I mean, I could see in the snow, in a light snow, where it'd be perfect. They're talking about possible heated batteries, but that's something that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I think that was in another article that is not very legit. So here's the camera. So here's the big thing. Let's go over to the next screen. So I'll show you these shots. Now, one thing you guys got to know: my wife is Chinese, so this is the best translation that we got, because it's really hard to translate technical terms. So basically, it says the new generation of lens that you can change. So we're going to have a changeable lens design, kind of like the X7 type of thing, but probably not as good of a sensor. They are going to have a newer 1-inch sensor. They're going to have an internal neutral density filter. I do not know what DLM means. I just don't. I'm not really sure. It is going to be a smaller design, the camera itself, and you will still have aperture control. So basically, it's a lot of the same thing as the 4 Pro. And then if we go on to this second picture here, we've got this. It's got smallest changeable lens that's in existence. Whether that's good or bad, we'll find out. And I don't know what support DLM means. I really don't. The 1-inch CMOS, noise reduction, a better color dynamic range, better HDR, better than the P4P, and the last thing she says is tight and light. We don't really know what that translates to. We're not really sure what that translates to. But what I'm seeing is I've seen things where they say it's going to have a retractable gear. Who knows? We'll see. It also said in the article that they will have... Oh, I got to put this up. It also said in the article... Oh, crap. We got to do this again. That... Come on. Uh-oh. Ah! It also said in the article... How come that's not linked? Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong one. Hang on just a second. That's the one. There we go. Technical difficulties. They're gone. But in the article, it also said that there is going to have upward-facing object avoidance. It's also going to have object avoidance up to 16 feet, which means it can do object avoidance at 34 miles an hour, which that's pretty good. So if you're flying like a bat out of hell, except you're not in sport mode, you can still dry lock micro port system. Oh, so it's just basically the micro SD cards. Okay, thank you. Stan, you're a genius. I even looked that up, and I put in DLM, and I couldn't figure anything out. But anyway, it's supposed to have all this 6-way basically sensors. So top sensor, left, right, front, back, lower sensor. So basically, it's a little bubble of sensors that'll detect if you're going to hit something in any direction. The problem I have is the 16 feet. Because sometimes if I'm going slow, sometimes I want to be within 10 feet or close to 8 feet, within that distance. So I'd have to turn that off, and then maybe I'd forget to turn it back on, and then I might hit something. But that's my problem, isn't it? So I hope that if the Phantom 5 does it, I hope that they have some kind of thing to realize, hey, I'm only going 2 miles an hour, so I can actually get closer to this. 5 feet's okay, but no more than 5 feet, or no shorter than 5 feet. Something like that. So these are the things that I've seen in that article, and I think that article, like I said, it seems to be the most legit because it was just written recently. It looks that camera picture is probably the best picture I've seen. Here, I'll pull that picture back. That's the best picture I've seen of anything else, because I saw another video of the one where it's all nice, beautiful, retracted, and it has just the bottom is retracted up, blah blah blah, and it looked really nice. But that was a promo video for something else. That was more of a concept. It's like showing Toyota's concept car of the future. It's a concept drone of the future. This will probably have a lot more of the features like the Spark and the Mavic and whatnot. So, like I said, the reason I am kind of going with a lot of this information on that website is simply because the picture looks really good. Those drawings look legit. I mean, that is really legit Chinese words. Of course, you can scratch some stuff up and it would look Chinese, but my wife, like I said, she worked her best, and we tried to translate the best to the technical terms, because those technical terms are the hardest to translate when you're just speaking conversational English and Chinese. And she has a pretty good handle on English. So that's what we have. This what have you guys heard? I mean, I've seen other, when I was doing the research for this, I saw some other articles that stated all these other different things. But if you look at those articles, they were actually done in the spring, like May and April. And I actually saw one in January. And the January one was actually the Phantom 4 Pro. They said it was the Phantom 5, but it was the 4 Pro. So anyway, you see all these different articles, but none of them were actually real. And the only article I saw that was within the last week was this article. It's just, that's all there is. And there is a link in the description where that article is, so you can read that article yourself. You guys are being quiet. Brian, why are you being quiet? Don't tell me you got in an accident because you were trying to help drive. Oh, there we go. Let's talk about Matt and his mapping with the Autel. I believe I saw that. Now, did you, Mr. Matt, with your mapping with the Autel, did you use did you use a I think you did, was it an SDK or did you go and, because it took you 40 minutes. I think I remember seeing this. It took you like 40 minutes. You went through and you took the pictures, and did that, and that's how you did it, and then you pumped it into like Drone Deploy or whatever app you have. Is that how you did it? Because I'd like to know. Stan, Rick at Drone Valley, guessing 2 batteries for hot swap. I saw that. I saw his video. I liked what he says. I hope he's right about those twin batteries and hot swap, because that would be nice to be able to not turn the drone off and swap out the batteries one at a time. That would be awesome. Plus, the redundancy for not falling out of the sky would be nice. Of course, with the 4 Pro, I've never had any problems with the batteries, but I have heard people where the batteries fall out. And we did one time at Navy Pier. I had taken off, or no, I'm sorry, Christopher had taken off, and I look up and I can see a gap between the battery and the body, and I'm like, land it, get back here and land it. We had to put that back in there really nice and tight because it would have fallen out. You did the maps with Made Easy. That's what it was, Made Easy and Drone Deploy. I knew it was something like that. But did you did go and manually took the pictures? So you would take a picture, move the drone, take a picture, move the drone, take a picture, move the drone, kind of like that. Is that how you did it, or did you find a way to override the X-Star or the Premium or the Autel's software? Because I know they had an SDK. Drone Deploy gave me... Oh, yeah, Drone Deploy's got good 3D. I've got some software that would make that look like crap. Of course, that software costs about 10 times more than Drone Deploy. I haven't gotten it yet, but I will be getting it probably in the next few months. Yes, I will be doing that kind of system. Waypoint. You did it with Waypoint. Okay, so did you make the whole video? Was that whole video describing how you did that? Because if that whole video, if you shoot me a link via email, I'll put it in the description below so people can see how they did that, and that'll maybe get you like one more view. Because again, I mean, I wish I had more time to watch these videos. Stan had the one with his refresh for the one he had. I was like, what's this about? Didn't make, but he did what he had to do. But I know, Matt, I saw something that you did with this. No video yet, but you must have posted something somewhere. You must have posted it. But if you make a video explaining how you did that, you shoot me a link and let me know, and I'll let people see about it, because I got no problem spreading the word. Because if you can do that kind of thing with an Autel, that's really good. I hope you can do it relatively fast, because I've done, how fast did I do that? I did about, I think it was 2 acres, and it only took 3 minutes to fly it. The processing of Drone Deploy took forever, it seemed like, because they just, I don't pay for it, so I'm not priority. Was probably the issue. So what else do we have? Brian, are you still okay? Are you still there with us? Okay, the Drone Profit. That's the one I saw you on, the Drone Pilot Profit group. Speaking of Facebook groups, I haven't seen Jeffrey in one of these. The reason I haven't seen Jeffrey in a live stream probably is because Monday is his day off, and I moved these to Wednesday. But Wednesday seems to be a really good day for me. I thought that with having the title of this video and talking about the leaks of the Phantom 5, I thought I would get a few more people in here. Oops. And again, if you're watching this on a replay and you have any information you want to share, leave it in the comments below. So am I still at 1547 subscribers? Come on, guys. You guys are my fans. You know these things. By the way, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys being such hardcore fans. It's really kind of nice to know you're watching out for me and you have my back. It's cool. Next week, just so you guys know, get Brian. He was supposed to be on today, but Brian had to go out of town for work. But he should be on the live stream, so we can pick on him all day long or all hour long or whatever it ends up being. So my video was I didn't sign up for the refresh before the 48 hours. Okay, now I got you. Stan. Yeah, I did that. I tell you what, I got that right away. What did you think about the drone that dropped the flyers over the LA last week? Thanks, Craig. Any more pics? Those are the only ones I've got, man. I'll pull that back up. So, Brian, what do I think of the LA thing here? This is all it had, man. And there's a link in the description below. That's like a regular thing. Those are all just other stuff for sale. Yeah, that's all they have that I could find. The rest of the Phantom 5 pictures, I believe, were probably fake, or they were all promo, or they're all like concept style. So that guy that he got arrested, the guy that flew over LA, the LA stadium. Was it LA? No, wasn't that in Oakland? I don't remember. It was in California. Yeah, it made people think, it's like, oh, it could drop anything. Well, yeah, it could. And that's bad. I agree. And he did get caught, and he went to jail or did something. I know that they definitely got him in trouble. And he was caught because he did it again. And they found videos of him practicing. Santa Clara, thank you. They found him videos of practicing this stuff. I think Stan, you even posted a link to one of them. Yeah, and I'm like, he was a little scary. But what do I think about it? I think that it's a really dumb way to get your message across. There's better ways to get your message across. I mean, get on YouTube. I can get in touch with more people on YouTube than I can with throwing flyers somewhere, because YouTube is easy. You could just do it on your phone. I really don't like. I mean, the concept of what he could have been dropping from that drone bothers me. Yeah, and people that do that does ruin it for everybody, and I agree, and that's what's going to happen, because I've seen, you guys have probably seen this too in one of the groups, I think it was the SUAS commercial pilots, where someone posted something about, the drone incidences at airports have gone up from 156 or something like that last year to 250 in 2017, and that it's it's the 5 out of 100 bad apples, 5 bad apples out of 100 good people that are just ruining it for everybody. It's making people more paranoid, because it was a big fear-mongering piece on the morning news, and these things are going to happen, and it doesn't matter what industry. The problem is anybody can get their hands on a drone. I mean, you can get these $10 drones. Of course, they're not going to do anything malicious with a $10 drone. You can't hurt a baby with one of those. But you get into these $100, $300, $500 drones. That a lot of people, if they want to do that, if they want to do something, that's dropping a bucket. Hey Tom, how you doing? It's Big Skies in the house. Woohoo! I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you in a while. I've been seeing your videos though. I hope that you're sharing with us. Yeah, I just. It's a slippery slope to go down this conversation. You guys know that, and I think we've touched on it before. And the whole thing is those bad apples. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as you have bad cops giving all cops a bad name. Bad anything give bad. One bad financial guy gives all banks a bad name. One. It only takes one nasty bank. Well, there's more than one that ruins the bank industry. So, I think that's probably a really bad analogy, because there's probably more bad banks. I know there's probably good local banks. But anyway, we're not going down that road. There's another. But see, every industry. My point is, every industry has some bad apples that make it bad for everybody. And like I saw here, more restrictions, and then that's why DJI puts this stupid test in. But, again, you can pass the test and still do stupid things. Because if you're buying a drone to do the stupid thing, nothing's going to stop you. Skyward.io for airspace. No, I have not checked them out. I will check them out. I had actually contemplated, because I saw some articles on this that I could do this, I had contemplated on making my own app just for doing the authorization. Because I used to be a computer programmer, so that wouldn't be a stretch. And from the looks of it, doing that kind of thing wouldn't be beyond my scope of it's not beyond me. I could probably do it. I would have to shake out some rust out of the old brain bucket here. And maybe do it. I thought about it, but then I'm like, you know what? Then everybody's already going to do those. So if I put one out, I'm just going to be just another one. So Skyward.io, instant airspace, try to say that fast, instant airspace authorization. So I have not tried that out. So I can't program in DOS anymore. Dude, DOS is way below me. DOS, bleh. Batch files. I used to do batch files in my sleep. Oh, Brian. Can't wait to have Brian. So Brian's coming up next week. He's going to be on the live stream, and I think I have a way to have us do it the way we wanted to, Brian. I found out a trick, and I think we can do it with relative ease, which is cool. Basic? Psh. Yeah, I'm beyond that. I did Java, C#, tried to get into C++. That one I didn't have time to get into. Learned DOS in 76. Let's see, 76. Nope, I hadn't gotten into computers yet. I'd gotten into them right around late 70s. My dad had a Trash 80, and I did the Simon Basic, because, that's my last name. I got to do Simon Basic. Did it on Commodore 64. We had I had also a Timex Sinclair 1000 at one point. Then we went to Commodore 64. Didn't do the VIC-20. Did the Commodore 64. Then when did I go from Commodore? From Commodore, I took a break. That's right, I took a break out of computers all in general and did some other stuff. And then I got back into computers probably about 25 years ago. But I've always been into video. I've been doing video for on and off for a long time. Yeah, dude, Brian, you got to look up the Commodore 64 group on Facebook. Every now and then, they don't post much, but every now and then you see some nostalgia. It's like, oh, I remember that. Heathkit, oh my God, Stan, you're showing your age. But I know what a Heathkit is. I had a Heathkit for something. I can't remember what it was for. It wasn't a computer. I remember the little springs and the wires and doing all kinds of different things. There was one, oh man, I was a geek. I was a little that was a lot of fun. That's why I like drones. That's why I like computers. That's why I like doing video editing. It's all, electronic stuff. It's a lot of fun. No, I taught Al how to create the internet. You have to realize they consulted me before I was born about the internet. Maybe it was Stan that was with Al. The 8-bit guy, yes, I've seen him. I've seen the 8-bit guy too. He's pretty cool. He's got some cool stuff. There's a guy, Tandy from Radio Shack. Woohoo, yes. There's a guy that I know locally. He works for one of the drone companies also. He is a big geek. He is. He's a young kid though. He's probably young, and probably, I don't know, Tyler, were you late 20s, early 30s? But he's all geeked out. I mean, he's into the Bitcoin, which you should probably get into because it hit 10,000 today, or at least look into it. I'm no financial advisor. What else? He's a Star Wars guy. He's everything. He's fun to. His stuff is awesome posts. I like his posts that he puts up, and he does 3D modeling drone stuff. He and his company, which is something I'm getting into, and hopefully he and I will be collaborating in the future. That would be kind of fun. So do we have any more questions? Come on, guys. This is only 35 minutes. What's up with that? This is the fun part, is the conversation. Stretch. Hey, look. Oops, this side. What's that? Christmas tree. Wifey got it up yesterday with absolutely no help from me. I am horrible. I'm a horrible husband. I was out working yesterday. Yes, you're rich now. I'll tell you what, Bitcoin is... You got to be careful with that because it's volatile still. It's still kind of young. I was watching a news piece on it earlier today, probably about an hour ago, and it's up and down. It's volatile because it's too new and people are a little scared. In fact, it hit like 11,000 at one point today, and then it dropped down to like, I mean, not immediately, but then later on in the day it dropped down to like 8,700, but then it rebounded back up to 10,000. It's like, so in just a couple of hours you could have made $1,000 if you put in a little bit of money or more money. You could have made a lot of money in just a few hours if you timed that perfect. Good luck with that, by the way, timing those perfect. So more drone stuff. Any more drones questions we got? Go look at here. I wish I had more pictures of this. I wish I did. But here's what I've got. We'll just go through this right now. So, yeah, the top line here says just new generation that you can change lenses. It's going to be the smallest changeable lens on the Phantom 5s, which should be cool. I'm sure they'll change that. I'm sure someone will be smaller later. It's going to be a better CMOS than what we have on the Phantom 4 Pros and 4 Advances. Internal neutral densities, the same micro SD thing. That's what DLM means apparently. It's got the compact design, and it's still this just kind of the bottom thing says basically you can set the aperture like the 4 Pro. Drone Wolf Media, welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. We've already been through the whole thing, the whole spiel. We're just kind of chit-chatting now. Talking about just about everything. Talking about geeking out on computers back in the day. It's all Stan's fault. He started it. Stan was actually the fault of it was his fault for the first topic of this whole video. Joe and 3DDIY.com is flying the Typhoon and loves it. His video looks very interesting. Got it for $700. The Typhoon, yeah, the Typhoon is that's a good drone too. I mean, there's no shortage of good drones. That's without a doubt. The reason, one of the reasons I switched from Autel, well, number one, you guys know that I sank it, and the replacement was really not that great. But if it wasn't for me getting the 4 Pro, I wouldn't have been doing as much work this year, because that was that drone is what people were looking for as far as video quality wise. They didn't want the Autel, they didn't want the Typhoon, they didn't want the Breeze or the Parrots or anything else. They wanted that 4 Pro camera with the 1-inch sensor. And Autel has been for a year now, almost a year now, saying they're coming out with a 1-inch sensor. And I was on their bandwagon. I really was. I want Autel to succeed. They're not. I don't see them doing anything at Christmas for this. I am really worried that they're going under. I mean, I don't know. I hope they're not. I hope I'm completely wrong. I want them so badly to succeed. But I wanted that 1-inch sensor. I'm like, okay, I'll just hold off for the 1-inch sensor. Quite honestly, I'm glad I didn't. Again, if it wasn't for me getting the 4 Pro, all that work I did this summer would not have happened, because Christopher would have asked me, so what drone do you got? And I would have said the Autel, and he'd have been like, nope. Because the camera, and I am not putting you guys down on the Autels, because you guys are doing great. I mean, Brian, you got some really good videos. That'll be the only time I ever say that. Matt, you got some good stuff. I mean, y'all have good stuff. You've seen I've got good stuff in the Autel too. But the fact is, the camera, the video quality that comes out of there is more out of the 4 Pro is a little bit more geared towards a professional marketing style company. So, Drone Wolf, when you say same here, is that why because I don't know, do you have I think you have the 4 Pro, do you? Yeah, shut up, Brian. I mean, it was probably one of the smartest things. Why is it better? because it's the quality of the video. I mean, it's without getting into the absolute details, technical details. The HDR is better. The flat film is better. I mean, not the D-Log. D-Log sucks on both of them, quite honestly. But the D-Cine-like really works well. You get a lot of the dynamic range out of the 4 Pro. The image sensor is bigger, so the 4K is better. You can get H.265 if you really want to go that route, but you can only do 30 frames per second in 4K. Still not a bad deal. So you can get a better, deeper picture. When you go into coloring and corrections, color correction, all that, you desperately need that. I have totally just blown up the colors, screwed them up big time from the Autel, and I have almost screwed it up the same way with the 4 Pro, because it's harder to do with the 4 Pro. You have more flexibility when it comes to that level. And when you're doing stuff for a marketing company or for cinematic reasons, they need to have that, because they may not like exactly what you did. They may not like the color choice, or they may not like, like with the Autel, when you set it at factory settings, it's oversaturated. It's too bright. You need it as flat as possible. So that's what the problem is. Yeah, I thought you had the 4 Pro. Okay. Let's go back here. So I hope that answered your question, Brian. I mean, again, I'm not knocking the Autel, because the Autel is a good stuff. It's really good. I have no problems with it, except for the problems I had. You guys know these if you've watched my channel long enough. But just like Drone Wolf Media, the projects come with the 4 Pro, because people know, if they're in a marketing company or if they're in the video business, they know the difference of what that brings. Now, for a realtor, even good realty, I mean, you can get some really good realty video out of the Autel. But if you're going to do marketing stuff, like if I showed up with the Autel for the Navy Pier, I may do 1 or 2 shoots, but after they get that video, they may not want that drone anymore. They know what they want. And I agree, Brian, for the price, you're not going to beat it. You really aren't, because the Mavic is more a little bit, and the prices come down on the Autel. The Autels are good drones. Again, they're not bad drones. I want you to understand that. On a professional level, that I'm trying to build a business, I want to build a business with this. The 4 Pro is a better drone. I hope like hell Intel or Typhoon's got this camera. I haven't seen much of it. I heard that it's close. But I hope Intel or somebody comes up with a better system, just to give DJI a big competitive competition, and that I can look at some other drones and maybe find a better drone. Even if I have to pay a little bit more money, I would, if it's a better picture. Provide the raw footage to my customers in case they want to work the file. Yeah, exactly. You can provide them with the raw flat files, the D-Cine-like. I assume you film in D-Cine-like, and if you do D-Log, that's fine too. I actually did a comparison. I'm still working on it, so you guys can see that. I with the projects would come to me. Yes, I wish the projects would come to me too. Actually, the projects are with Robo Aerial. He's getting people calling, and we did, like I said yesterday, we did a shoot in a warehouse. It was awesome. I love flying indoors. I really do. I gotta say, I mean, didn't hit a pole. Had a lot more control. The wind didn't blow me around because there wasn't any. And we got some really great shots. And I can't show you any of that because it was an NDA had to be signed, and that video footage I have absolutely no permission to use. I have it so I can look and use it and critique it on my own, but I don't have it. Roof inspections, those are good. That's an awesome thing too, because the all drones. I mean, you can use. I wouldn't use a Spark because it's really not that good a quality. But you could use a Spark for just a basic roof inspection. You're not going to get the heat sense, the infrared. But then if you're going to do infrared, you're buying a much more expensive drone anyway. You're going from a few $100s to a few $1,000s to $10,000, maybe $20. You can go to buy the M210 and spend $30,000. So yeah, to do the roof inspection or to just check the roof of somebody, those are great. I mean, Mavic's good for that. The Autel would be fantastic for that. In fact, I did do some roof inspections with the Autel. I did a little bit of real estate with the Autel. It is a great drone. There's nothing wrong with it. I think for the price, you get a lot for your money, without a doubt. Boy, this turned into a Autel versus DJI debate. Boy, I can't wait to see the comments on this video after the live stream's over. Oh, you hate Autel. Oh, you hate the problem is I'm very happy with my P4P. And if someone else came around and said, "Look at this thing, it flies better and it works better and I can do all this," I'd buy it. So, we're 45 minutes, guys. So I'm assuming the audio has been good because you haven't said anything. You guys can hear me. Brian's being quiet. Are you still dry? Are you still writing, Brian? Are you home yet? You cooking dinner for everybody? Yeah, Matt, they have been very, you know, yeah, P3P. Yeah, you could if the P2 wouldn't fly away, you could probably do a roof inspection with those quite easily. But the P3P, I mean, Owen, who was on last week, he's got the P3P, and he's doing those fantastic videos. He's got the 4K version. I think that's the P3P, the 4K version. I mean, it's a good camera. I mean, you know, so. I hope something's coming, Matt. I do. I really do. I hope. I really want Autel to come out and say, "Look at this fantastic drone. It makes the Phantom look like a piece of crap, and we're selling it for half the price." I'd buy two. Any idea what the interference was in Chicago? Oh, when I was downtown. Not really sure. When I was flying, I was just east of the Art Institute of Chicago, on the other side of Columbus, and flying from the Grant Park. There was like nobody around. Had that big. If you saw the video, you saw the big metal sculpture. I think it was with the Cortez metal, the same thing that the Daily Center Picasso's made of. But it only happened when I was near the Art Institute of Chicago, and it was. I mean, my signal, my video signal dropped, and I think I still had control because I hit the RTH button and it just came back. It came back to my area, and then it got the control. I mean, then everything else, yeah. It could have been the metal. And maybe it was the way where I was standing, you know, and it was bouncing funky off the metal, and then the drone saw it weird and just all got screwy. That's the best I could do because, you know, there's nothing really in that area but that hunk of metal and the Art Institute. You know, I wasn't over the trusses of Millennium Park or of Pritzker Pavilion. So later, Drone Wolf, take care, guys, take care. Just so that he was heading out. So the only other see, here's my thing. I was a little paranoid. I became paranoid at that moment when it said lost signal. I didn't lose. It said lost video signal or something like that. I mean, I still had telemetry and stuff, but the screen was black. But the first thing I thought of was like, oh my God, someone hijacked my signal. That was my first thing. That wasn't it. I mean, I wasn't flying illegally. Nobody, and I wasn't bothering anybody. So I'm not really sure what it was. Maybe if I go back to that area, it won't happen again. Who knows? Hey, Mike, how's it going, Mr. Mike? You're showing up a little late. 50 minutes in. Who wasn't happy? Kev, I think I missed something. Who wasn't happy about it? From the sound, you don't think Drone Wolf was happy the way my thing was going? I'm interested to know what you think. Oh, man. Hey, I gotta tell you guys, I was definitely got a little paranoid. It's like, oh crap, someone hijacked me. That's my biggest fear when flying. Is that somebody hijacks my signal and takes my drone. I mean, if it loses signal because of, you know, manufacturing or whatever, that's something else. But when someone steals it, that's when I think I would have the biggest. I think I'd be pissed. I think I'd be on the warpath. I'd be really upset. I'd be livid. And when I lost that Autel, I was embarrassed when I thought about it later. How I acted. I mean, I acted like a 4-year-old, I think. I felt, you know, when I lost the drone, and I had people there. You know, Ruel, I haven't talked to Ruel much since. I think he feels like it was his fault because, I had you fly over there. It's like, no, dude, it wasn't your fault. I don't blame anybody but me. So, Kev, I'm waiting for you to tell me what. Oh, wait. That wouldn't happen with the Autel? Yes, it would. I've had the Autel lose a signal. Look at my old videos. Brian, I know you've seen them. I know you've seen those videos. What are the rules for flying right downtown like that? Okay, Mike, the rules are FAA rules apply, plus, all of those rules always apply. Chicago's added rules, they don't want you flying at Millennium Park at all, so don't fly there. And obviously if there's a TFC or a temporary flight restriction, TFR, you can't fly them. That's obvious, like during Bears games, anything going on at Soldier Field, anything going on at Wrigley Field, Sox Park, all of that stuff. You can't do it then. You cannot fly over courthouse, over any municipal buildings, any like the sanitary building, like the water treatment plant, no schools, no churches, no cemeteries. But other than that, as long as you take off from, the general rule, this is an FAA general rule, is as long as you take off from a public place, it's okay where you fly. Now, I'm pretty sure that the rules are going to, the next, what I'm about to say next, these are probably going to change because of the way people are, and I would expect them to change, and hopefully for the better. Because currently, right now, technically, and don't do this because you're probably going to get hurt if you try to do this. Technically, you could fly a half an inch or an inch above somebody's grass in their yard, and you're still in airspace. Technically. I wouldn't do it because your drone's probably going to be met with a baseball bat or something. So don't do that. So technically, you can take off from, say, Grant Park, as long as it's not like, Lollapalooza, because then there's a crowd problem. So if you go, like, when it's not busy, you take off at Grant Park and fly over Millennium Park, they shouldn't do anything about it. But they might. Legally, they shouldn't. The other rule is, in that area, there's several helipads. You see a helicopter, you get out of the way. Right away, just like the FAA. Over by Navy Pier, there's actually a police helicopter helipad, and we saw police when we were shooting Navy Pier. They were going in and out all day long. Do not fly over the locks, the canal, the locks going into the lake, because that is actually on the FAA do not fly list. You don't fly over that at all. So those are little things. Yeah, moving cars, you don't fly over those. If they're parked, if they're sitting at a stop sign, stoplight, whatever, I still wouldn't do it. But if it's an empty piece of road, you can still fly over the empty piece of road, which is what I did. If you look at the video, I had a guy, you guys may have seen this in one of my posts, had a guy questioning me, or maybe it was on my comments in the video. He was questioning me on, well, you can't do that. It's like, and he's like, well, what about all the crowds? I'm like, did you even watch the video? There are no crowds. There was nobody there. By the way, I filmed that on Thanksgiving Day. No, I just saw that, Brian. There's no crowds at Sox Park. Yeah, really, there's not. I got to come through these now. What would happen? Seen them all. Thanks, Brian. I know you've seen them all. Now, Brian, what you have to do with my videos is you actually have to watch them 15 times each every day. Okay? No problem. Get right on that. Did you see the NC is supposed to have some special new rules now through okay. The thing I have about the new rules is, and I'm assuming NC meaning North Carolina. I'm assuming, Craig. The thing about making the rules on top of the FAA is having issues with that. And even the federal court, remember several months ago, they had that federal court. The court case was saying that the municipality cannot have more rules than the FAA, especially when they're stupid rules. Chicago's rules aren't stupid, so I don't really have a problem with their rules. They are I say they're very drone friendly. Chicago is very drone friendly. The people who get the municipalities, okay, thanks. The municipalities that say, you can't do this, can't do that, can't fly over anybody's house. It's like, that's craziness. Because then all I can do, so if I fly more than 50 feet up, my neighbors are going to see me, and they might think I'm flying over their house when in fact I'm not. So then it all becomes, he said, she said, blah, blah, blah. So North Carolina doesn't need to make any more rules. If they're like, well, just follow it's like the FAA rules apply in North Carolina without them making any more, because it's a federal law. These are the federal rules, and they're not, they're not even laws. They're rules, and those overrule the lower. So at least that's what the court says. So it's right now it's kind of a Wild West right now here in the U.S. Now in other countries it's more of the Wild West where they have no rules. Like in China, there's no rules. Just fly wherever, whatever. They hardly say anything. A few people will get a little cranky that they're being spied on. It's like, well, the government's doing that to you anyway, so what's different than that? So yeah, the FAA rules. It's just who knows how it's gonna go. Tom's Tech Time says he is almost out of business in Germany. Yeah, because Germany locked down. Yes, and you're not the only person that's told me this too. He's like, you can't hardly do anything in Germany, so it's just a crap. No, I wish they didn't do two, since they are the same. They had to take a test pass. Wait a minute, you had to pass a test to fly in North Carolina? That would be against the rules. Getting a permit, that's California. That's what I don't like about California. Well, L.A., you pretty much have to, because it's the film industry, you pretty much have to have a permit to fly anywhere. Not only just authorization, but a permit. So you got crazy. But if you had to pass a test just to fly in North Carolina, that better get thrown out. That better get thrown. I don't care if it was free or not. I don't care. That should get thrown out. Or, that if someone doesn't do it, like a lawyer, he goes and flies in North Carolina and they give him a ticket or whatever for not passing their test, he's going to fight it and it's going to get overruled. I can't see that unless the FAA starts doing something else. That's kind of where it didn't study and passed with 100%. Kind of like the DJI test, that no one, that I have yet anybody tell me about that they've actually seen. I'm waiting to see that. Apparently it's 9 questions. Woohoo! And stuff. I mean, I'm assuming that it's stuff like don't fly over people. Don't fly over a moving car. Don't fly into someone's backyard. Common sense. I'm understanding that it's common sense. But the fact that states think they can do that is a problem. And this is what Stan's point was in his email to me. They don't have the right to do that. The FAA does that already. You don't need to do that. Now, granted, the FAA is harder to control. The FAA controls it is more difficult to control than what DJI can do. DJI can control it very directly. However, only as DJI owns a market share. If someone else like Autel comes out with a better drone, well, now DJI doesn't have as much power. So you can't leave it up to a manufacturer. Oops, I just hit a button. Hope that didn't do anything. Okay, so we're about at an hour, guys. It gets me at the hour thingy. Hits me pretty quick. What? Stella didn't show up. Stella wasn't here. Okay, well, they're out in the UK. Stella, Stan, and Keith, they're all in the UK. Mark, he wasn't here. Boy, I'm feeling it. And there's only 6 people watching now. That's what I see. And Craig, I'm glad you took the test. I'm glad it worked out for you. And it's just I have a fundamental problem with that. Because I don't want to have to, let's say I go over to Rockford, heaven forbid, why would I ever go there? But, I need to take a test just to fly in Rockford. Or what if I go to, another suburb, Naperville, or what if I go to small town USA that's got 1,000 people in it and they have a drone rule just because, the sheriff has a bug up his butt. And so this little one horse town gets a bug up their butt about drones. They throw a rule up saying you got to pass the test, otherwise you get a $500 fine. That's just wrong. So you see, it's a snowball, and I believe that is part of Stan's argument with DJI is I've already passed the test. I don't need to pass another test. Now, again, as a Part 107, I have yet to see that test, and any Part 107 person I know, including Stan, has not seen that test. So I would like to know if anybody Part 107 has seen a test or anybody hobbyist has seen a test and what their experience was. Yes, you did hit a nerve. You certainly did. You can tell that I have very, you finally found that one out. Talking about the FAA rules and people, it's like, yeah, you caught me. Oh, so anyway, guys, yeah. You got me, Craig. You guys are getting to know me a little too well. Don't push that button every single live stream, because then that live streams will be 4 hours long. It'll be a rant, and we don't want that. I see a YouTube video where he showed taking the test. You saw a YouTube video where he showed. Stan, was that Craig taking the test or someone else taking the test? I'll wait for a second for your answer, because that. Yeah, I have thin skin. Whatever. Okay, you don't remember which one. You don't remember which test, I'm assuming. No, I have thick skin, Brian. But if you ask my opinion on stuff like that I have a very strong opinion on, you might actually get a response. There's some things I won't talk about, but things like that I will. I don't normally throw my opinions out there. But you guys reeled me back in pretty quick. Whoa, we hit a button. Yeah, you can call me out. I don't care. That's funny. I'm laughing. I'm smiling. That's all that matters, right? Okay, guys. I think we're done. We got a whole 7 people. Go to NC Department of Transportation site for a drone test. Okay. Okay, so you can ignore the test 4 times and then get grounded. Now, Stan, here's what I want to know. What if I just open up Litchi? What if I open up Litchi? If I open up Litchi, DJI can't make Litchi do it. So, Brian, when I have you on the live stream, I'm going to cut you just before you say that, so you can't say my line. It's mine. I'm the only one never allowed to say it. Oh, it's getting warm in here. Actually, it's because I have the window closed and the heat's on and it gets hot in here. That's the other reason I do it. That's all I'm going to say. Well, it's going to be a short live stream. Oh, you think Litchi requires 4 up-to-date? Well, but if I have 4 up-to-date and just never open it, I can still open Litchi. Dude, I'm a problem solver. In fact, here, we're going to go problem. This is why I thought of this. Yesterday, when we were at, well, I kind of already told the story. When we were in the warehouse, I had to dump some memory stuff off the tablet because DJI wouldn't even start with all this stuff going. I couldn't get anything to run because it was at 100%. It literally was at 100%. So I ran a recycle thing and got rid of some crap. And guess what? It got rid of some files that the DJI 4 needed. And then I couldn't start up DJI 4 because I didn't have an internet connection because we're inside of a building that doesn't have an internet connection. And I couldn't get one, so I couldn't update the stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to get this drone up in like 30 seconds. What do I do? Okay, shut down, start up Litchi. Boom, I'm up in the air. There's always ways around things. Yes, Stan, I believe you. I mean, being a programmer, I know there's ways to do that, but there's also ways to hack things. Now, what I'm doing is not a hack because it's very simple and anybody can do it. But I have a problem with, I have a problem with DJI being that forceful, that aggressive, whatever word you want to use. But I think that there's going to be ways around it. Thank you, Brian. Are you heading out? Are you done? You eating? You going to go home? Oh, you are home. You already said you're home. So, yeah, let's go ahead and cut this short. So, anyway, Stan, I want to thank Stan. He's the one that came up with topic number 1 of today. He's the one that brought that to my attention that he would like me to talk about it, and I did. And my throat's going dry. Anyway, so I want to say to everybody, I did a little bit. Oh yeah, good night, Brian. We'll talk to you in a few days, okay? We'll talk to you about next week. So Brian should be joining us next week live. I feel like I had to step away. You missed. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, Craig. You totally screwed everything up. You'll have to rewatch it because we're heading out. So guys, anyway, I'm gonna pop over to my end screen. I changed the end screen a little bit, but I kept the video the same because I have not had a chance to change this video. I know you guys are loving me. Yes, I see your comment there, Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian will be a riveting guest, is what he says in the comments, and I promise you that we may pick on each other so much that my thin skin may show. But for now, guys, I want you to remember you can always buy some. I put some new stuff up on the Brad's Drone Stuff, that shop spreadshirt thing. If you want to check that out, you can help support the channel that way. You can go to Brad's Drones and see some posts. I put some extra stuff on there. I meant to put my Instagram on here. You can find me on Instagram under that. I do a blog sometimes on my Brad's Drones website. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with anybody you think might be interested in this video. And of course, subscribe to the channel, click that notification. And Brian, until next time, fly safe and bye!